I think my half-sister is trying to kill me. Things haven't felt right since my half-sister started leaving me voicemails. We have never been close, so waking up to a full inbox of unintelligible sobbing was not something I could have expected. After a while I finally made out only a few words. "I am so sorry," she kept repeating over and over in between sharp inhales and guttural cries. I remember looking over at my boyfriend, who was just as confused as I was. My half-sister and I have never been close my entire life. She was always considered the black sheep of the family. She distanced herself only to return when she needed financial help from my dad. She is a paranoid schizophrenic that has turned away any form of help, out of fear of being controlled by the government. Even though these voicemails seemed out of place at first, I wasn't alarmed in the beginning. You guys have to understand that this was one of the more normal things that she has done. Just a few months ago she seemed to disappear. No one could get a hold of her, not even my dad, which was highly unusual. We have been taking care of her son, my nephew, for quite some time now, and it was normal for her to go Mia every so often, but never for her to miss a call from my dad. This is because he has become her sole source of income, and she is always ready to supply a sob story in order to cash out. My dad decided to go check up on her, only to find her apartment door wide open. The entire place looked as though it had been raided, with furniture piled up blocking entry to the bathroom. My dad later found her in the bathtub covered in her own shit, holding her face and sobbing. Her face was littered with claw marks, which she claimed was from an unseen attacker. She hadn't eaten or showered in days, and my dad still gags when I ask him about it because he can't forget the smell. Every summer that I have spent near my half-sister while staying with my dad has resulted in several visits from the police and never-ending breakdowns from her. She has called my dad crying, saying that someone is following her, or claiming that a man had a gun to her head, when in reality she was found staring at a light post. The last time she stayed in the same house as us, we ended up outside at 3 a.m. because she couldn't stand having so many eyes on her. She was convinced that men were staring at her through the windows, whispering obscenities to her. Throughout the night, she was intoxicated and searching for her keys, which were in my dad's possession, because she had to get away from these men. My dad's house is in the middle of nowhere, by the way, and the nearest town is at least a 20-minute drive. She begged for us to believe her and for us to let her leave, but it just was impossible to believe that there actually were people out to get her. She ended up threatening my little sister, which was enough to end the show. I had to physically restrain her and keep her away from my younger sister while my dad called the police. The rest of that memory ends with flashing blue and red lights while being showered in the shrieks and cries of my half-sister. I wonder what these voices are telling her now, and whether or not they have anything to do with me. I can't sleep, and periodically my phone goes off showing she is trying to reach me again. Each voicemail is the same, starting off with a gentle whimper only to end in full-fledged sobs, trying desperately to let me know how sorry she is. What could she possibly even be sorry for? I know that I should block her number, or maybe even pick up the phone and give her a safe space to unload her troubles. I feel sorry for her, while at the same time I can't stand to think about her without wishing she was dead. She has traumatized not only my little sister but her own son, and I can't seem to sympathize with her the way my dad manages to. I have been having nightmares since the calls started. They all start the same, with her high-pitched whining and the soft gasps of her trying to catch her breath. I can't move in these nightmares and am confined to my bed, but I can hear her. I can't hear anything else but her constant wailing that pushes my own thoughts out of my head. This dream was different, though. My body went numb as I heard rustling from the living room. Apologetic murmurs floated their way to me as the door to my room crept open. My half-sister's face, almost completely enveloped by darkness, peeked at me through the crack of the door. Her eyes bloodshot as a continuous stream of tears rolled along her cheeks. Her lips showed no sorrow as her eyes did, and instead coiled themselves into an ungodly grin. I woke up and couldn't seem to catch my breath. My face was wet, only to find out that I had been crying. Then I heard it, whispering from my window that spoke vile words while disguised in the most pleasant of voices. It was quickly cut off by the sound of my phone receiving yet another desperate call from my half-sister, but by then I had heard enough. She left yet another voicemail, and I think I finally understand what she is so sorry for. I think that my half-sister is going to try to kill me, and I don't know why or how, but I do know that the whispering hasn't stopped since. I can't get it out of my head and don't remember the last time I slept. Her phone calls are becoming more frequent and I am terrified. She hasn't made any threats, but the voices at my window tell me the truth. Maybe this is the only way she can get it all to stop. Maybe this is the only way she can finally live in silence. Maybe this is why she needs me to know that she is sorry. I will let you all know if anything improves. As far as I know, she has no idea where I am living, but she still managed to find my phone number. Hopefully, I will be able to update you all and say that it was all a joke, that everything is okay and finally it is quiet. I just can't seem to stop crying.